Good evening, everyone. So my refutation speech is going to be based on, I'm responding to the claim of fact that says traffic fines oppress the poor and lead to extreme financial hardship for minor offences. So, the proposed secondary claims by the applicant was that universal fines place a burden upon the lower income population, and the secondary claim states that universal traffic fines oppress the lower income population and causes undue hardship. So, looking at the first secondary claim, the advocate used to support her secondary claim. The advocate used an article from the Wall Street Journal. The article is about a young woman, or a single mother, who resides in St. Louis, Missouri, and she's an educated single mother who lives and takes care of two young children. And she was placed in jail for over 2 weeks due to the inability to pay for speeding tickets. And the article continues to show that because of her incarceration, she missed job interviews, fell behind in her studies, and also was separated from her children for 2 weeks. Now, looking at the evidence, we see that the evidence actually weakened the advocate's argument as it revealed and proved that there are other life obligations that place a financial burden to the lower income population besides traffic fines. Therefore, one cannot really state that traffic fines have a major and direct leading factor of financial hardship to the lower income population. So basically, the speaker shows that the speaker's evidence actually revealed that, according to the article, that Ms. Nicole's incarceration did cause financial hardships. However, she failed to consider how other circumstances and life obligations also contributed to the fact that she had financial burdens. When I speak about circumstances, I say she's a single mother who obviously has to take care of two young girls by herself, and she lives over a minimum wage, and the life obligations being that she pays for her younger children's tuition fees and her own tuition fees. She's still studying. Now, looking at her second secondary claim, which I'll repeat it, where it says universal traffic fines oppress the lower income population and causes undue hardship. Unfortunately, the speaker did not give any evidence or to support her secondary claim. Furthermore, the claim only seems to be a repetition of the first secondary claim. It carries the same concept, the same ideas. So the idea is basically repeatedly pointed out. So my counterclaims that I will be explaining to show to go against the main claim is that although traffic fines may demand quite a large percentage from the salaries of lower income populations, they do create traffic fines do create a lot of revenue that go to the municipality, which then gives the municipality the chance to create jobs, meaning that when they receive a lot of revenue, then they will have enough money to cover labor costs. So this causes job creations and gives opportunities for the lower income population to receive jobs with higher wages. To conclude my speech, we see that the advocate ends her speech by giving suggestions or solutions on ways to eliminate traffic fines from being a financial hardship, in that financial punishments should be scaled to personal income, and that for this to happen, they are going to be accountable according to financial means. I would go against this by saying that scaling financial punishments to personal income goes against the practice that the justice system should treat traffic offenders equally. If two people commit the same circumstance and cause the same amount of harm, they are obliged to pay the same price for that potential harm, regardless of one being more affluent than the other. And being charged with fines according to personal income discards equality in accountability. I also would like to point out that, to conclude, that traffic fines are essential to road rules because they improve discipline and high road safety to license, and this way licensed drivers will become more cautious. Thank you.
All right, well, you labeled the points. I thought that was pretty effective. I kind of agree with you. I think the first and the second point are basically the same argument, so you end up having to repeat yourself a little bit. On the first point, where you attacked the evidence that the advocate used, I thought you had an interesting interpretation of what that evidence meant. In other words, that there are other sources of financial needs that this woman had that are not just the traffic fine, and those other things are part of her problems that contributed to the situation that she was in, and the fees are just one element and probably not the most significant element in that process. Although I would assume that the 2 weeks in jail where she's not earning any money, that would be something that could be demonstrably significant when you're talking about people's income. I think that there's a problem there. It's an interesting twist on the way you're looking at the evidence. I'm not sure you completely sell it, but I do think that you raise some doubts that it's exclusively just the fees that somebody's having to pay. You challenge the lack of evidence on the second point, and like I said, I think it's basically the same point like you did, just slightly phrased in a different way. The claim about revenues from municipalities creating jobs is an interesting one, but it's all asserted and it's a little bit circular. The challenge to scaling the penalties to the income of the accused, I thought, there's kind of a value argument that's being presented here, and I think you give an explanation as to what that value is and why we want to treat people equitably with the fees that are being paid in these situations. We're getting a little bit off of the factual issue when we talk about that value issue, and you're only going to get that if there's a change in policy, and that's not really what this assignment was about anyway. All right, thank you.